Hey, welcome back to Duxbury Cider. I'm Mike, and I'm here with Shamez, the owner of La Palette. Let's go inside the bottle shop and take a look around.
Hey, welcome to La Palette. We're on Queen Street West, the cultural backbone of the city. And through all this madness, we actually just turned 20 years old. 20 years old in a pandemic. Never would have guessed that. The idea was to bring a little piece of Europe to my hometown of Toronto. We are now running a wine shop. My wife's back in the kitchen making baked goods and treats. If you're lucky, you'll get to try one of them. And in the meantime, my latest hobby is an old hobby, cheeses. I've brought a bunch of cheeses from far and wide for us to try. Cheeses that go great with beer and wine and cider. So we're going to start off with Comté. Comté is from Jura up in the French Alps. This is the reserve version, so you've got a hard cheese that actually gives way to a beautiful creamy texture. And when that dissolves, you're left with these salty crystal deposits that sort of pop on your palate. Really a fun one to try and pair with things. It goes great with wine. It goes great with Madeira and port. It goes great with cider. So hey, next up, we've got Garrocha. Now Garrocha is from Catalonia. It's a cheese that all but disappeared in the 70s. And very recently, some young people took up that mantle of showing pride in their cultural heritage. And so the Garrocha is a goat cheese that has been revived. It's in a nano production. Look at this, you can see it's got a beautiful ash rind. It's made from the milk of these Murciana goats. It gives you a particularly sweet milk. I think we're going to pair that with a nice natural wine from the same region. We'll enjoy seeing how they play off of each other. But really one of those special things. I wanted to bring stuff you couldn't find anywhere else. Our next stop, we come closer to home. We're going to check out Riopel. So Riopel is a triple cream. And it's a triple cream that's not crazy, messy and gooey. But you do have this like rich paste that is full of umami flavors, like mushroom, nutty textures. I like having the tilted barn with this one because I find that the hops really plays well with all the other things that are going on in this Quebec cheese. Finally, what we're going to do is we're going to come to visit one of my favorite cheeses of all time, coming back to where we started in France. So Brebis Russe. Brebis Russe literally translates as red sheep. And if you like a creamy texture of a camembert, but you want to get a little bit more funk and barnyard to it, you're gonna love Brebis Russe. Check it out, it looks almost like it's lobster flesh. You've got that beautiful orange rind. The creamy texture when it sits in your palate really gives way to this like funky barnyard rind. I like this funky cheese with the funky scrumpy that Duxbury's making. There we go. Are you ready to taste some wine? Let's head over that way. So the whole idea of this bottle shop is there are labels that you would never find in the liquor store, the LCBO. So when you spend $1 here, not only are you spending $1 in a family-run business, it's all the way right back to the source wineries themselves. Many of these are multi-generation family businesses, so you can feel good about where you're spending your dollars. Well, let's taste wine. This is exciting. I've got this amazing orange wine from González Bastias. We are on the coastal drylands in Maule, Chile. This is a winery that has been in operation for 200 years. The same family has run it for 200 years. Imagine in this day and age, taking on your dad's profession or your grandmother's. Well, imagine doing that generation after generation. 200 years of tradition means you've got ancestral knowledge. This is an orange wine, so it's been elaborated and aged in amphora vessels. When you age in amphora and you bury them under the ground, you are going to allow the fermentation to take place in a cooler environment, and that means it's going to build more complexity into the wine as the fermentation slows down. You're tasting a piece of history. Some of these vines themselves are 200 years old. Talk about something off the beaten path. You'll never find a wine like that at the liquor store. So here in the kitchen, you'll see Maria preparing another one of her magical baked treats.
One of my favorite things to prepare every day are savory croissants. My husband used to get quite hangry each afternoon and wanted to eat something really small, but something that has protein in it, but that wouldn't ruin his dinner. So I started making stuffed croissants that are savory, and I delight in that. So each day I prepare something different, and it's sometimes a surprise to me. This particular croissant has wilted greens with cream and egg. It has cherry tomatoes as well as pimientos, with some wonderful cheese that my husband selected.
Spark and Hoe by Red Leicester in England. Well, thanks for spending time with us here today. I hope you'll actually get to come in person, in the flesh. We're open pretty well every day. You can come by appointment when we're off hours, or just come say hi if you're in the neighborhood. We'll look forward to seeing you here at La Palette on Queen Street West.